Hello everyone, welcome to your 19th C++ Qt game tutorial. The plan for this tutorial is to start implementing the game class. Now recall from the previous two tutorials that we finished doing our initial planning for the game. So this is the class that I want to start implementing. So let me just go ahead and read this and remind myself. So the game class inherits from QGraphics View because it's the widget, and it's responsible for managing the global aspects of the game. Excuse me. It has a scene attribute, a Hexboard attribute, a whose turn attribute, and it has a start method that actually basically starts the game. Okay, so now that I have that in the back of my mind, I can go ahead and go into Qt. Let's go ahead and create the game class. As usual, right-click, add new header file. We'll call this game. And then add a new source file, and we'll also call it game. Okay, so since our game class inherits from QGraphics View, let's go ahead and include that. Class game will inherit publicly from QGraphics View. Of course, it will need a constructor, which can optionally take a QWidget pointer parent, which is initially null. Just in case you guys didn't know this, but the game inherits from QGraphics View. QGraphics View is a widget. Now, a widget can have parents. Just like how QGraphics items can have parents, widgets can also have parents. So just in case I ever want to include my game window inside another window, I'll give the option of passing in a parent widget. Okay, and then we said that we need a start method that starts the game, and I think that was the only method. We had some attributes, so I'll go ahead and divide up my functions. I'll call this one constructors. We only have one constructor. Call this public methods. Okay, and then we're going to have some public attributes because the game class is global. Most of its attributes will actually be public. It's the only exception. Now all of our other classes are they all follow the practice of encapsulation and information hiding, except for the game class. Since so many other classes need to access its attributes, we may as well just make them public. But you can choose not to do this and just accomplish all the same tasks via getters and setters. Okay, so we're gonna need a pointer to a QGraphics scene. We're going to call this scene. Okay, so let's go ahead and include QGraphics scene here. We're also going to need a pointer to a Hexboard, so we have not created the Hexboard class, but I like to just leave the skeleton code here to remind me later. So Hexboard, a pointer, and we're going to call this Hexboard. And I'm going to basically comment this out because obviously there's no such thing as a Hexboard type yet. And I'm going to write to do. This is so that later I can go into my to do entries and any lines that have this to do tag will show up. Okay, and then it also needs, let's go ahead and go back into our plan. So we did the scene, we did the Hexboard, and then whose turn. Now the whose turn attribute of the game class represents whose turn it currently is. I can choose to represent it via 0 and 1 or etc., but I'm just going to choose a string. So player 1, the string player 1 means it's player 1's turn, and the string player 2 means it's player 2's turn. Usually you'd want to use enums, but I don't really feel like going over enums, and I know that not everyone knows about them. But in this case, I think strings will do fine. Anyways, okay, so we're going to have a Q string, and this one we don't have to comment out. Q string whose turn. This will describe whose turn it is. Okay. Now let's go ahead and start implementing some of this. We'll go inside the game class. We're going to go inside its constructor. So include game. Okay. And then we want to basically set up the screen. So what we want to do is disable the scroll bars. Remember, we use the member function set horizontal scroll bar policy, qt no scroll bar always off. And we're going to do a similar thing for the vertical scroll bars. What was that? Control C. What? Copy. Okay, there we go. I was having some trouble copying and pasting, so we're going to change horizontal to vertical. Okay, make sure this actually exists. Yes, it does. All right. And then we're going to set a fixed size. So set fixed size. We're going to make our window 1024 by 768. That's the size that I want. Okay, and then after this, we're going to set up the scene. So set up the scene. Okay, we're going to qgraph. So scene is equal to qgraphics. Oh, we're going to create a new qgraphics scene. And then basically we're going to pass in, I believe, a parent or okay, well anyways, scene, this is the scene. We created a new scene, and then we're going to do scene set scene rect so that it doesn't auto size, and we're going to make it 1024, the same size as the window, by 768. Okay, and now we're going to make the game actually visualize this scene. So we're going to do set scene, and we're going to pass in a pointer to our scene. Okay, everything looks good so far. Now let's go ahead and test this. We should just have a blank window that pops up. So let's go into main. Let's include it. Include game. And then just like before, we need to make game a global variable because a lot of other header files will need to access it. So we're going to basically create a game. I believe we just do, game pointer. I forgot how to do global variable, so let me quickly think about that for a second. Okay, I think I remember now. So we'll just do up here before our main function, we're going to create an object of type game. It's going to be a pointer. Okay, and then here we're actually going to initialize it. So we'll create game is equal to new game. Okay, and game show. All right, so let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. So hexboard.h does not exist. Well, where's the problem? Oh, clean all, run qmake. Okay, here we are. You guys can't see the full window because my recording is too small, but here's the window and here's the bottom edge coming up. Okay, anyways, here's our blank window. So basically there's our code for the game class. I'm going to stop right there and then we'll pick up in the next tutorial series. Okay, thank you for watching, and as usual, please give feedback, what you like, what you don't like, and if you want me to cover something that I have not covered. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.